Hello and welcome to another of Trisha's Cards and Crafts Step Up, Simple to Stepped Up on Sundays. Sorry about that, I'm Trisha and welcome to my video. Today I'm using the Forever Fern stamp set and I'm using almost all of the stamps in one way or another. I haven't used a couple of, sorry, everything's falling down all of a sudden. I haven't used this one and I haven't actually used this one yet, but I'm getting there. I really like this stamp set and it's so versatile because you can use so many different colours. You don't have to use the traditional greens, and you can use, I've seen other people using them with blues and pinks and purples, and they all look really effective. So this is the stamp set we're going to use today. Whoops. Right, just a second. So these are the two cards that I've made. We're going to reproduce this one in a moment, and then I'll explain how I made this one. Okay, right, so here we go. Let's make a start. So this is the card we're going to make. I haven't done anything on the inside, but I have done the back of the envelope and the front as well. Okay, this is the card. Here we go. So let me got an envelope and a card ready. Now, because when I made this, I wanted it to go around the outside of the card, and I wanted to keep it flat because it's easier to stamp when it's flat. What I did with this one, I used, as you'll be able to see, a post-it note again. So I'm actually going to try what I did, put it right up to the fold line. It is easier if you actually make the fold so that you can, so if I make the fold it's easier to see where it needs to go. There we go. And I didn't get it right, so let's try again. I want to keep it right to the edge. At least with post-it notes you can keep going, taking it back up and down until you got it right. There we go. I'll just check. Yep, that's right on that. Okay, so as you can see I've already done this one already. Now because I'm going to go off the edge, I'm going to bring another piece of paper in to go underneath so that I don't ruin this one. So here we go. Right, you can use, as I said, any colours. I've used quite a few different greens for this one. I've got Pretty Peacock, I've got Shaded Spruce, Soft Seafoam, Garden Green, Pear Pizzazz, and somewhere, but it's hiding from me at the moment, Just Jade, which is one of the new in colours for this year. Oh, here it is. Fell on the floor. Here we go. And there's the other one. Okay, so we'll only use them one at a time, obviously. So I made a start the first time I did it with the Pretty Peacock. So here we go. And this stamp, the eucalyptus. I think the Pretty Peacock goes nicely with this colour, this particular leaf. I think it's a eucalyptus, it might not be, but it's very similar. So, and I'm going to double stamp so that it's stamped and then stamped again. Like this. So here we go. Stamp. And I'll stamp again. There we go. So that's that one done. And then I'm going to use the Pear Pizzazz with the, I think it's like an olive type leaf branch. So stamp this up. Obviously it's not all going to be shown on the card, so you don't need to stamp the whole of the image. One there, and then I'll do another one on the opposite side. There we go. And then I've used this image, and I used the garden green. Oops. Oops. And I did it on the other side here. There we go. And then I used the smaller of the leaves. Here it is, this one. I don't know whether you can see that through. And I used the shaded spruce again. Here. Here we go. Now I was going to leave it like that with the centre like a diagonal space, but then I decided not to because I could, and I've used Just Jade with the last of the leaves or fronds, this one here. Again, this one could possibly be an olive branch, I don't know. I mean, some people have used this one here as berries, which again, you could use them as berries. That would probably work too. So again, don't need to stamp the whole of the image. And there we go. I just want it popping onto the card. And here. Oops, oh well, it's okay. You can just see it's supposed to be there. Okay, and the last thing, and I used the Just Jade as well to stamp the sentiment, which is hello. Just be careful with this one. I'll put that in the middle. And there we go. That's turned out quite nicely. Now what I did then was I used, there's like a little spotty dotty stamp, and I've used this with the paper Pizzazz. There we go. To go in the spaces around. Oh, I didn't. On the other card I used the soft seafoam. I might use this one in a couple of places, and then I'll use the soft seafoam on the rest of the card. There we go. If I use those there, here we go, and then I'll try using the soft seafoam, because I think that looks quite good. There we go. It's a bit paler, and I think it gives a nice effect. Oh well, this one's going to be very different. I might have to just clean this one a second after the shaded spruce. Try and use the right one this time. Put those out of the way. Here we go. Could have probably gone around and used all of the different colours, to tell the truth, and it probably would have still looked okay. Here we go. The only thing I'm not quite so happy about is I've left one of those, a little mark there, just here. But I might try and, I'm going to leave that for now, because there is an eraser you can get, it's called a sand eraser, and if you're very careful, as long as it hasn't gone in too deep, you can sometimes pull this off. If not, I can always put a gem or something like that on top of it. If it was another card I could have possibly used if I hadn't already stamped the sentiment. I could have stamped that onto another piece and punched it out or cut it out and put that over the top, but that's how I would normally probably fix that problem. But as it is, I don't think it's gone hopefully too deep, and I'll try and see if I can erase that in a bit. Okay, so if I take that off now, you can see that this is now completed. Here we go. And I'll just hold that down. I don't know what I've done with my bone folder. It's probably on my desk somewhere, but I seem to have mislaid it at the moment. We'll just finish off the envelope, if I can find what I did with it. Here we go. So what I did, I used the smaller leaf again, this one, on the front with the shaded spruce, just in the corner, and then on the back of the envelope I've used these. Again, I could put the post-it note down just so that I don't have any accidents, but I was going from the other direction anyway, so it shouldn't make a difference. This one was shaded spruce as well. The one. That's just because of what's underneath, so it's not quite taken properly, but it's fine. It'll be alright for the back of the envelope. It's not too much of a problem. The pear pizzazz for this one. There we go. And then I used this one, and rather than stamp it up again, I wanted a more muted effect. I just warmed it up with a bit of the air from my bit of breath. And again, you can I use the smaller leaf again to fill in the spaces, but I think that looks quite nice as it is. What I'm going to do instead, I'll use the pear pizzazz on the little dotty motif stamp. I'm using the pear pizzazz because I think that looked quite nice on the front, and I'm going to just put a few of these dotted around. There we go. There we are. So there's my envelope, and the front of my envelope, and the card. Okay, right, let me just explain how I've made. There's the other one I made earlier. Whoops, here we go. So I've got two of those. So you can see it, there are a few of those little mistakes on there, and I think probably I might put a few little rhinestones on just to cover those marks up if I can't get them off with an eraser. There we go, finished with that one now. And here's the other card I made. With this one, I don't have this matching designer series paper to go with these this suite of stamps and dies. There's dies as well that you can use to cut out to make bits to add leaves and things to your designs. But I've used a piece of pretty peacock card to go behind as the mat, and this piece of paper, I've got some more here, I used, because I didn't have my own that I'd made up, I used one sheet of card and I stamped the images from the stamp set onto the card to make my own designer series paper. So that's what I've used here. And it's very simple to do, and there's lots of people out there that do this themselves. There's one lady, Ruth, who does the Artful Stamping Space, or Artful Stamping, and she does a lot of these, and she's really good to watch if you want to get an idea of how to make your own one sheet wonders, they call them, or your own designer series papers. Okay, so that's what I've put behind. I then cut out a smaller piece so that you could see what was behind it a bit more, and I just went around the edge with some of my garden green, I think it might have been shaded spruce, stamp pad, just so that it makes the white stand out a bit more against. I could have put another mat behind it, but I didn't want to clutter it up too much. I used a bit of a retired ribbon that I had and some little gemstones, because I thought it looked a little bit empty, and I'm not very good with empty. I then added 2 more of the smaller sprig flower leaves to the corners, the opposite corners, and I just used a couple of gemstones from, I think it was Pretty Peacock, from a retired range of gemstones that I still had in my stash, but any would do. And you could use some plain crystal gemstones, you could colour them in with blender pens, or you could just leave them as they are. They would look just as nice, I think. Okay, so this is what we've been making today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please put a thumbs up at the bottom. If you'd like to be notified when I make any more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel, and then you'll be notified every time I put another video up. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Enjoy your weekend, and have a lovely time until I see you next. Thank you very much. Bye bye.